All right, what's up, you guys? Welcome back, everybody. This is Janos with Trading Spies. This is the third day of the year, the third trading days. Today we traded 5 times. I would consider as 100%. One of them, it was a break even, so it would bring the percentage down, but we have to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. I know I followed my rules on that particular trade, so that's why I give a thumbs up onto that trade. And today we are in a very, very low volume trading day. A lot of choppiness, sudden burst of breakout, and this is the downside of the low volume day. Is no follow up, no follow through of the breakout today. So many times we try to break out, and especially I trading 5 minutes and 1 minute. So on the 5 minute, so many false breakout. The moment it breaks out, it's coming right back down. And trading options, all those sudden drops, it takes a lot of out of the contracts. And let's get in. Let me break down the trades. Hopefully it's gonna be value to you guys. This is gonna be a little bit early recap because it's just so much choppiness and such a low volume. Today is I decided to finish, and we need to know when to stop, when is worth to push the pedal, and when it's just ease up. Today is the one when is really not worth to do much. As we can see, choppiness, chop, and we have sudden burst of movements, 1 2 as it coming down, another one, and now basically every single candle full extent covering each other. So on the option contract, this price action lead really nowhere, just the time decay and eating up your contract. So as I mentioned, today we traded 5 times, 4 of them to the long side. In the afternoon we came back one more time to the short side, 4 winner, 1 break even. We managed to make a very, very nice profit today. As we can see, we have 20%, over 10%, to very, very close to 10%. So overall, considering all these choppiness, is a very, very nice green day, and that's always welcome to the account. So my first entry, it was right after the push up, after the opening bell, and coming back to VWAP, and basically that was my first entry, the anticipation, the hold of the VWAP. Unfortunately, it didn't worked out right away, and we started to have just a back and forth, up and down. As we can see, every single candle basically full extent covering each other. At the moment we have a breakout, we're coming right back down. Second time, second attempt, as we make a breakout, coming right back down. Third, double top, coming right back down. So this is why we have, well, it cannot call an anticipation, but an educated intuition, what will happen. And when we see how the price actions are, and we're following with the volume, as I really like to do, the volume on the candles, in the candles, within the candles, and how the volume breaking down within the candles, so we can anticipate somewhat where the price is gonna go. Of course, if we have a breakdown, then we have to honor our stop losses and just to get out of the trade, because we always have the next time, right? If we blow up our account, then it's over. But if we're responsible with our stop losses, if we're responsible when we can draw the line it's time to give up, then we can be a successful traders. So in this case, I waited for the breakout. It took a little bit longer than I was hoping for. All this big push, I was still holding it, and as we were coming down, I was hoping, well, that's not the right word, because the hoping is not really helpful word in the stock market. I wanted to see if this level is becoming a support after the breakout. So it really did happen. So as we pushed right back up from there, I exited my position, and this trade is yielded over 20%. It was on the 1003 candle, 1, 2, 3, and of course it wasn't one single entry. As we were pushing up already from the breakout, I was scaling out. Second one, second entry, 1027, and in this case I was waiting for the pullback, right? Once something goes up, it's gonna come down to an X10, and then we wait from there if the curving will happen, if we're gonna start to get the upside. So basically I entered after the pullback. We started to make highs, but we didn't make new lows, right? All this period over here, this is a false breakout. Right away we flushed it down, and then we started to level out, right? We made a high, we attempt to push down, then we came back up. We pushed down, but we never made a new low. Next candle, again, as it opened, we started to push, and the next candle, as it turned to green, I entered into that candle, and my exit 34, 33, it was right when we started to push down and printing the big, not big, but when we started to push and print the red candle, that was my exit. And this trade, I don't think it was premature exit. The reason why, because at the same level, right? At the same level, we had a breakdown. So I considered it could happen. So as soon as we started to push down, we didn't hold the level, I was exiting out. So this trade, about 10%. And the third trade, I started to attempt the same thing. As it came back, first candle, make a new high, I entered 36. But in this case, I was considering already the validation of the trade to break the pivot low. So what happened is we never break it, right? So I was holding on to the trade, but because of the choppiness, even 1, 2, 3, 4, about 10 minutes passed, we was eating up the contract, right? So as we were curling up, we reached the same level the third time, and I was in just a very, very little bit of profit. I really considered selling. We pushed up, we couldn't break, even I sold the height of the candle, right? Again, this is the time decay. We about 10 minutes over, the price pushed almost 20 cents up, but I exited break even as we created a wick, because I just didn't want to end up with the third flush down to create a triple top. Actually, if we consider this a quadruple top, and just dump. So I exited out of it, and basically this was my break even third trade. And the reason why I considered this one as a winner, because I followed my rules. And again, this is somewhat, it's an intuition. In this case, better to be safe than sorry, because as we can see later on, the price did break out. But again, I decided to exit out of my trade and keep the previously earned winnings, because we can enter anytime again. Actually, my last trade, it was in the same area, waiting for the same thing to happen. But as we can see, 11:06, we were already past that level. We came back a few times again, and this is just the choppiness. And as we came back, I anticipated the break finally will push. It still needed to have a few minutes for the actual break to happen. And of course, at that time, right, let me just move it. We don't know what will happen, right? It's chopping around, but this is a classic flat top breakout, right? We can consider that we have a little bit of height to it. So in this case, the trade, if it breaks, it gives us 20-30 cents. Hopefully once it's break, it goes just a little bit above, give us about the 20-30 cents, so we can have a little bit of profit, at least 10-15% on the contract. So that's what I was hoping for, and it didn't happen. One more time we came down, nothing serious. This was just, I think, one bigger order printed through, and then basically the push happened, the volume came in, and my exit was exactly that level, as we can consider the 20 cents, and that give me in this trade about 10% profit. I could have hold it. Right now it's a hindsight. Now right now we know the push continued, right? But in my mind, we have to be what happened prior, what could have been, and what most likely would happen. We don't know. Again, we don't know if this trade will continue, right? We're hoping it will continue, but as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the hoping is not a right word. False breakout, double top, flush down. We came up, we pushed to a new level, right? What happened? False breakout, double top. We came up, again we pulled back a little bit. When I entered the trade again, it didn't went straight up, it came back. When you think it's no more room to come back down if you're planning to the wrong, but it did happen. So in my mind, as we break, you sell into the break, you sell into strength, you have your profit, you out of it. Hope and hold, it works out, but the today's market is not the environment for the breaks. It did happen today. That's the way I trade. So let's just leave it there. So it was very, very nice to see a continuation for the actual breakout. This could have been a lot of extra money in the trade, but we didn't participate any longer. And at that time, it still basically was no volume. I think if I remember correctly, because I looked at it, we were somewhere around 20% of the overall volume for the past 30 days. I don't even think it was 20%, which is at 11 o'clock, it's very, very low. And then double top, right? If you do the same thing over here, right? You're hoping for the breakout. Let's see what happens, right? Once we come back to the breakout, and the breakout happens, in this case it didn't happen, it was 1 cent shy, but we still can consider as a double top. We have our level there as a resistance, which we had it over here too, but because of the push above VWAP, we are extended here. less likely without any consolidation this will go. Over here you had the time, you had the rest. Over here, and especially after pullback pushed, over here is just immature to enter for a breakout, in my point of view. Yes, of course, we know the outcome, but in just generally speaking. And then this is what happens. We pushed all the way back down. We came below VWAP and we were just weak. And my last trade was a short, but we came back to the same choppiness. We came below, so that's why I was considering also a short to use this level, the bottom of this level, as a resistance level, and use the VWAP also as a resistance level, right? So my last final entry was at 1208. This is again just shows the difficulty, how we're going. We had the break, nice size break. We have a pullback, and then we had the pullback to VWAP as a rejection. Me personally would think once we had the pullback rejected, we will continue, right? Even we have this level over here, what we can consider as a support zone at this time, right? We had it, we came back, we pushed. So I thought after big push down like here, we would have the strength to go one more leg down. As it turned out, yes, we did in a little bit later, but we started to chop around in the same direction. And basically my last exit was exactly there at 31. This is the 30 and the 31 where it became a wick, but as we came down, I exited. So again, because of the time passed, time decay, eating up the contract, and a considerably move, 30 cents move, yielded only 10%. If this move happened right here, probably our trade is double that. But we pushed below, attempted again, came back up, and then it's just a sudden drop. And this is what we cannot anticipate in the market. And then since then, as it seems, we're slowly grinding, slowly grinding. So that's it for today. It's still a few more hours left of the market, and then we just gotta see what will happen today. So right now, overall, right now it looks weak, right? Right now it looks weak. 1, 2, 3 days of selling, but big picture, this is still bullish, right? We are in a flag formation. We're testing the bottom of the flag, right? As it seems. At this point, we really don't know what's happening. Right now, we can have, as we come down, we can have a support, step in, and then we rally up as we did over here, right? We had a crazy drop, and then we stepped in, and then we created a new high. It exactly the same thing could happen. Or we break down, and then we just continue down. But the best way to trade, to wait for the breakdown, and definitely we have to wait for the retest. Because what could happen, exactly this. Just a drop, below the previous low, so we can just drop to this area, to the 67, shake out everybody's who's short, who entered prematurely for the breakdown, the continuation of the breakdown. Then we're going to have a shakeout, and then we're going to start to go up, and then we're creating a short squeeze. It's all this is a possibility, and we have to see what will happen. We have to have our plans in place and just follow our plans. Again, if you blow up your account, then you have to refund and start all over again, or you just take your stop losses, whatever. Basically, it's make no sense to hold it any longer. And then from that point, you can re-enter anytime you want. So that's it for you guys today. Hopefully it was a little insight of my thinking of the trading, what could happen, and how important it is to follow our plan. If you guys like the content of this video or my channel, please hit the like and subscribe button, and see you guys tomorrow.